What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jasper, and welcome back to Danganronpa. We are about to start another trial of what we believe to be the death of Kyoko's character. Now, I don't actually think it's Kyoko's character here. I think it might be Kyoko's. So let's just get going. I'm going to try and be a little more quiet. Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? Just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course, but how could you not figure out? We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Can't fucking believe it. Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to just go off together? Just the two of you? What? Are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself? Knowing Toko, it's a little of both.
What?
Stop talking, embrace yourself. Stop talking, embrace yourself. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. I imagined what was about to happen. I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But sit there for 4 minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... Or what?
What?
Jesus! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start until everyone's here now, can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? We all agree it's a violation. I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. I heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
Hey.
I'm here, and no rules have been broken. Kyoko? Kyoko? You're still alive? No! It's a ghost! Zoink, Scoob! Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay? But is it okay that there is no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God, I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right, now we gotta deal with the ghost! I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped away into the elevator. Master, wait for me! Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after the other, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. Second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down. Just in time to hear the class trial announcement. Took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go over to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorm, I could be a little more direct with the mic and not have to be so loud. And that's why the key you found goes to... Then that's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite. It's not precise at all, but okay.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Kyoko's account has been added to the Truth Board section of the handbook. Oh no. That's right. This trial is going to throw a wrench in everything.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. Her? That's a strange way to put it. Past trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say that it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? I'm going to do it quick save. To the elevator. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. Door slid shut. This time the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears. The dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated the very depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair! Oh God.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs is past.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show! And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. Jesus Christ. Deadly class trial. I already saved, but I will save again. Let's take a look at this here. We don't have any more. Increases an argument to 3 statements or less, effective during non-stop debate and bullet time battle. right. Oh no, I want that. Alright, here we go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Here we go.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Except there is, because she is alive.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Right?
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
What? The latest evolution in ghost technology. Ghosts have technology?
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
For once I agree with Yakuya.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to do that.
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Okay.
Her traits?
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
I do.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Yep.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
If I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here, in case we'll move forward. Everyone else can move forward. Hero can just be stuck in the fucking ghost world. So I don't have any choice but yeah, you know, if it'll make things go forward, we're gonna do this. We have no choice. Tattoo on the right hand, body, fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right?
Yep.
It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
That's not the point.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Roasted.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Yes.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Yep. We have to identify the victim, of course. Here we go. Again. Sprinklers, exposed body.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the monitor. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, we can.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
Yep.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
You would also die an cruel and unusual death, hero.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
Yeah, but she's right. She's out of line, but she's right. Somebody call in Anthony Mackie.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Wolf.
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
No.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
I mean, that is a... You know what? No, let's move on.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Yes.
Oh, really?
To compare that tattoo with other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear. Flooded. Nope. Nope.
I got it!
That's
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
It's the wolf. Just do that.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Alright, don't worry about it. You're good.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir.
Which means the body belongs to Mukuro Ikusaba.
So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
And we all know who killed her.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
Except she's not the mastermind. Or, not the living mastermind.
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
No.
After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba?
This is number 5. This is the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
You want me to see something, okay.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name. Sorry, I'm eating popcorn.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Okay.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
Oh shoot, I forgot this. 9 o'clock.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Kyoko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30. Oh, look, okay, then it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove... Then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. The sprinklers!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Oh, shit.
Shoot!
Because the sprinklers go off at 7 a.m. every morning. So if Makoto did put the body there in the garden, then he would have gotten wet with the sprinklers. And the body also wasn't wet until after he put the fire out.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock and... Yep, and Makoto...
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Wait a minute.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
I know it's the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
And that should work, though. But it doesn't.
Shoot!
It has to be the sprinklers. But,
We've established a time
alright,
frame
I'll
for
try
the
it
murder.
for what Kyoko says.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, that's wrong.
Why does it work there?
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden.
Excuse me.
The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right?
7:30. Okay.
So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Along with the culprit.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Why do you have to say it like that?
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
Nobody was going to allude to that. Nobody was talking about that.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean?
I'm the one who dumped water on it because it was on fire.
By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
What the fuck are you on about?
Man, you're totally wacko.
No shit.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Right. Do I seriously have to? Okay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! How can you say it wasn't the...
This should prove it.
No, I don't like Kyoko. That was the best
Just
bullet
remember
time
what
battle
the
I have
body
ever
was like
done,
after
by the way.
explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
Not to mention it was on fucking fire.
If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
What?
I I'm so sick of her.
Me too.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
At which point we were at the dining hall.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
Yes.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Yeah, I was right there at I was in the bed the entire night, and you didn't see me until I opened the door.
In which case,
Until
the
I
only
showed up
one
at the-
left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko is the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Yeah, no. Kyoko would never,
I'd just like to say one thing.
unless it was self-defense.
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
Oh boy.
Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
It definitely was a trap.
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me?
I mean, we blamed you anyway, because... Actually, yeah, Makoto blamed you every step of the way. Because you are responsible for all this happening. In fact, you've killed, quote-unquote, Junko. You've killed Leon. You've killed Mondo. You've killed Celeste. And technically this one doesn't count, but I'm gonna count it anyway. You killed Alter Ego. So, yeah.
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Sure.
Shut up, you!
Woo.
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
That worked.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Why would we?
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything.
Got a point.
So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this.
That is...
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
It's a good point, but it's still incorrect.
But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
Except she didn't hear the announcements or anything.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Okay, I think we're getting up onto the moment you were talking about, so I am... Let me save... in slot number 3.
Huh?
Because we're coming up on a point that I haven't... Like, depending on what I choose, it can go either one of two ways. I've seen the good ending. Haven't seen the bad ending. And this point here is leading up to that point where it shows you either one of those endings. So, Momo, when we get to that point, let me know which answer to pick.
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Certain something. The tarp? One side was wet and filthy, the other was completely clean and dry.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water.
Yes, but here's another thing. If Makoto had done all this while the sprinklers were going off, he would have gotten soaking wet. And within that time period of him coming from the garden, going all the way downstairs to the dining hall, he wouldn't have time to dry off. Or back to his room, in fact. Even then, Makoto's alibi still checks out.
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Yes. But it also doesn't give you an alibi either. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Alright. Yeah, the tarp should have blood on it. The body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
No, that's not the right one.
Shoot!
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Right.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
There we go.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
Yep.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Exactly. From the chicken. The blood was
What
kept.
if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I mean, the nurse's office where they have the fridge full of blood packs, or the live chickens that are on the same floor, in the same room, and there's one missing.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
Yes. Just like with the movie.
That's what Hifumi did, right?
Yep.
When he pretended to be dead?
Hey, hero. For once, you have an actual rational thought.
No, that's not what happened this time.
But it's still incorrect. It was a good guess. I will give you that, hero.
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
The chicken.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
Chicken blood.
What? Chicken blood?
Chicken blood.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
Chicken blood.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood?
Chicken blood.
Man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Yeah, does that make it any less humane? Or more humane?
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
You were nowhere to be found.
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
No, it wasn't.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
And the coat's backwards.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
But that still doesn't provide an alibi for her. She's still just as suspicious, though. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it?
Neither of us.
Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
For a life and death game, I think not.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Yeah.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we going to do with it? Can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Yeah! Kyoko suggested that. Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Yeah, if you remember, Kyoko was the death.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
Mm-hmm.
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto.
That was found in the classroom, and Kyoko suggested that I take the knife.
Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Yes, but if I prove it wrong, you'll just go right back. Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone and I am not the killer. Disguised dead body, exploded body analysis. Fragments near the body. Why? Okay, disguised dead body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Okay.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
But you gave it to me. which means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Wait a minute,
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that, that seals it.
Just because I had that automatic.
Well, so there's no. You took that knife.
What a horrible man you
Let
are,
me reread what Makoto said. The coat was put on after the tarp was removed, which means that the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto. It really is, isn't it?
Okay,
I was afraid of that.
I know which one to do.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed
Nope.
her, right?
I hit the wrong button.
So there's no question.
Fuck!
You took that knife of yours and killed
Alright.
Horrible man you are,
Fucking
Makoto.
Rar. I didn't mean to do it that way.
The knife we found. It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Alright.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
I mean, technically, he is right.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember?
It happened just 5 seconds ago.
The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for us. Everyone in the Monokuma file.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
Because of the bomb!
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
Right?
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
Wouldn't that that would cause an explosion, but if it's an atomic level quantum particle explosion, wouldn't that be the same as an atomic bomb? There wouldn't even be a class trial if that happened.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
The explosion. I know it's fragments, I just wanted to see what else we had. Okay. So it's the fragments. Yeah.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh?
I might have to
No.
save it again.
I feel like I've seen something like it some.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Again, Kyoko looking directly into the crotch of the legs of Monokuma.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
You all saw it happen before your very eyes. You just... Of course, since you don't know the identity of the victim, you don't know that.
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Well, you do know the identity, it's just that you didn't see the face. What ultimately killed the victim? Need to concentrate.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Save here. Save right now. Is that what you're telling me? I am reading the messages in chat. Are you telling me to save right now? Let me know. Not yet, but we... Alright, I'm gonna save anyway. I can't do it. Yeah, I can do it. I can't do it right now. Never mind. Fuck. The knife was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Which only leaves...
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay, that wasn't right. Oh, okay, I did that backwards.
Shoot!
I think.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't. Then.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence. And more than that,
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Damn it. I missed the chance to... Alright, let's try that
shall
one
we-
more
The victim's fatal.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't. Then.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has
Yet to be determined, correct?
Nope.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Okay, I was just getting that out of the way.
Shoot!
Alright, I've got 3 guesses left. I need to...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
No,
Yes.
it's not that.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that,
No, that's not it.
the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we
I don't
continue
think
the
this
debate?
is it, no.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
I might need help
And it
here.
wasn't because of the knife, right?
I fucking didn't think so. Yeah, I need help.
Shoot!
I'll try one more time, but I need... Momo, if you could help me, it would help out a lot.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Fucking didn't think so.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless
Wounds across her entire body.
I didn't think so, but I'm gonna
Shoot!
fail right here. Yeah, whatever. Blah, 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 blah.
Is this really the end for all of us? I refuse to give up yet!
Alright. Thanks for the help.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even. Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Shoot!
Okay, I did what you said. That didn't work, apparently.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
She was already.
And it wasn't even. Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, I can see that you looked it up, but I will look it up myself just to make sure. Hang on, let me try something.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate?
The victim's fatal.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even. Then.
Oh, yeah.
According to the Monokuma, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury
Has yet to be determined.
correct?
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
You had it backwards, Momo.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
Oh, wait. There we go.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Except they do.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object. about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
No.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
I think you know that a little too well there, Toko.
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Oh, yep.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Okay.
Seriously?
Right.
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
Yep. Excuse me a sec. Alright.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
Oh, please stop.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The arrows.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something, and that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird. Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right! I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for downing it because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. The duct tape.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, cause in the Monokuma file,
Thick
it
of-
said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right?
Yep.
It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Not just one arrow.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Also, now that we're out of the bullet thing, this time we're gonna say,
Oh no, you absolutely have.
oh, fuck off.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because you can't.
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Is this it?
What's the matter?
Momo? Are you there? Is this the point? Is this the thing? Almost not quite. Okay.
Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer.
No, I don't.
You know what will happen if you do, don't you?
Yeah, and you need to start worrying about that shit.
If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to.
Everyone dies, I get it.
The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I mean, I first saw her there and we spoke, but are you talking about the key? Oh, that's right. We found the key in the locker room. We found the key to the locker room in her bed, under the bed sheets.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
It was found in your bed.
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her.
Momo? I think you need one more piece of evidence. Okay.
Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Before it gets to that point.
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Does that mean she knew I was being attacked? She came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Alright, I'm gonna save it. Just because.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it.
And how was that?
Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Because you were in the garden and there was no body there? Yakuya should know better than anyone. What does that mean? Oh, for fuck's sake. When the body was found? Oh no.
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's
Yes,
proof
you
that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant.
Okay, when asked to pressure... Okay.
And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. Okay. This is where I needed to save it. Because I'm gonna come back to this point. So So in order to see the ending I haven't seen yet, I have to call out Kyoko's lie. But if I want to keep the story moving, I keep my mouth shut. So what we're going to do here is I'm calling out the lie. And then we're going to come back and do the truth. Or, not the truth. We're going to come back and go along with it. It just isn't like her. Try and save herself with such a desperate lie. I think it looks bad. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer, or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? It looks that, yeah. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. Why are we... If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? Alright. Alright, here it goes. We're gonna pursue the lie.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
Mm-hmm.
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying, and it must be because some of the deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Oh god. Okay. Kyoko's account. Oh shit.
I didn't have the key to my room.
Yep.
Because I'd given it to Byakuya.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that, right?
That is true.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
Mm-hmm. Kyoko herself told me before the trial started that she had stolen something very important from the headmaster's room.
I didn't have the key to my room. Because I'd given it to Byakuya.
That is correct.
There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Okay, that's not correct.
Shoot!
I didn't have the key to my room. Because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong.
Ah, jeez.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. Ah. Monokuma's secret tool which can open any lock in the school.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school. Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap. And I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Oh, by the way, I lost.
Huh? Then, are you saying, Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
That doesn't make any sense, though, because there was no time limits before.
But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Except it wasn't Kyoko. Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. You got it right? Something strange is going on here. Something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
Is everyone over ready? Okay then.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Okay. Those straight up Magic the Gathering cards. After school lesson, really? Why does it have... Why on the chalkboard does it have the whole thing about sex education? Eh. Did I mute the game because of the music? Oh, right. No, I didn't mute the game audio at all. Let me double check that. No, it's still going. That was how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusawa came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or, regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial, and in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once the case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Oh, God. Wait. Oh, God. First off, he's carrying a picture of Toko. He's literally inside the... Okay, so he's carrying a picture of Toko, and he's smiling. Why is Byakuya smiling? All of those kids are Hinas. Why?
which means there can only be one explanation. Oh God, no. Toko combusted randomly according to the. Their kids were gonna share a mother. Yeah, but all fucking three of them? I thought it was just, Makoto and Hiro. I didn't think about fucking Byakuya. I didn't even think. Why would Aoi agree to that? Ugh. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh? Oh, it does loop back.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
So we're back. Okay, so it did look. It did. So that was weird. Her claim? Oh, that's right. I have to. Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? Okay. Wait, so what does the runaway thing mean? What does the runaway thing mean? Is it just a stupid thing? What's the runaway option lead to? Hang on. I didn't reload. It looped back like you said it would. I'm trying to think what the runaway option is, but at the same time, I don't want to explore that option. So, I've never tried the runaway. Alright, well I saved it close to this point anyway, so I'll try it and see what happens. No, running away isn't going to solve anything. Let it go. I have to listen to Elsa for once. Made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here, something that has to do with the mastermind's trap. Like Kyoko mentioned. Oh boy.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Give me 1 sec.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why... this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
I messed up on one part, but my total results is still an A. And I got 80 I got 80 coins for it.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense!
Shing!
It's the same as always, just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment! What? Wait, why do I... Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Makoto has been found guilty. I wonder if any other than Makoto being on the desk. Other than Makoto being at the desk, I wonder what differences there are. Ah, the chalkboard's different. Oh, it was different in that one instance. Let's see if it's different again. After school lesson. Oh, no, it's the same one. Ah, it's alter ego. Monokuma's like, what? alter ego saved us. But still, falling down that height. Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Yeah, it had to be.
This
Alter ego. Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this!
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
Or no, what was that? What I'm saying is you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you are never ever going to see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit, in a way, that's even better special. That's an even better special punishment. Yeah, he is lucky to survive that, but you know he fell down that pit, which was several. Even though you're at the bottom of the school, in the courtroom, that's still a far way down. Plus, you have a desk and chair falling on top of you. But it's still not enough. I'm not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you, bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in the bustling urban area. Alright, hold on. Before we continue further, I am going to take a quick break. I have to go use the bathroom. So, we'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of their entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. Hundreds of years of tradition that sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things that you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school, filled with the ultimate students, was me. Yeah. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk out into some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Yeah. 3PO, shut down all the garbage crushers on the detention level. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? Hey, that looks familiar off to the right. A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was... Yeah, what an awful smell. What a wonderful smell you've discovered! I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. Must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. That was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck there until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remember all too well what happened. Alter Ego saved me. Oh, Chihiro, you did a thing. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. With that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was starting to look for a way out of here. Excuse me. That's a rocket and a tank. Better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. There's a door. Rattle, rattle. It's locked. Rattle, rattle. No matter how many times I pushed, pulled, or kicked it at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be easy. Not getting out of here anytime soon. Decided to look around for some food. In the trash. You. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. And that was pointless too. Next I searched for some water. How could I be sure which liquids I can drink? And which ones are an all around bad idea? I think any water you find in the middle of a trash heap is all a bad idea. Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. That's still not reason enough. That's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left, after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep, and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. Falling right out of the sky! However, it wasn't a sign. Did you hear a crunch? What the? Strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched the pile of garbage jostled and formed in an odd shape. Did something fall down over here? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? A giant piece of trash just fell down here. Yep.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Yeah, you also got some cup ramen in your hair. Kyoko!
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't that obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. Okay, I am on. Okay. I just wanted to double check because, you know, Cup of Noodle Kyoko is a meme. I need to see this meme. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a little bit of garbage in your hair. They made that so dramatic when all she has to do is just go. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash and faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Oh, thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding up for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth. Why? You don't need the details, thank you, Makoto. Whoa, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep moving. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. Especially not now. Now that I have somebody to help me with the skeleton key to the school. Oh shit. There we go. Alright. After all, the fact that I can keep moving forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Kyoko. Why did you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew what I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
Well, then that is the meme. That is the meme. Meme if everyone does that. that's the point of the meme, to get the joke across. To make the joke go wild. Make the joke go viral, I should say. But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there's a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost. Why'd you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive
In other words,
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? Made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have a reason for coming to Hope's Peak, as does everyone.
indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible! Amnesia? And is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
And I fainted too. When I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation from within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point, my memory was gone. At that time, I had forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying that you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. Positive it was the work of the master. It was the work of the master. They stole me. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the history of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating these things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that... Yeah, hold up, sorry. If I did that, and we'd all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
Don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? Mastermind is one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there's a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing.
is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even though I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know that I've never asked you to help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that and investigating on your own, but how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
Think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability. What everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective? Duh!
correct.
The reason I came to the academy. There was someone I had to find here. There was someone I had to find here in the school. Who was that?
So,
It was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because it's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak headmaster? Hope is Hope's Peak's headmaster. And that means an alter ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. My apologies if that made any bad noise. Yeah. But if that made any terrible noise on the capture, I apologize.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on?
I
My memory had back to that point. But when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here is to find you. That makes sense.
However,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say the detective. I only said what I felt based on what I had seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. Desk drawers were dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Is this some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. Pretty much the floor plan. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms that meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if it were true, that room would likely hold more food, so I went to check.
Correct.
That's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So when you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. What was it like, that part of the school, Henry? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized Whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. Okay.
However...
Of course, once I got to the second, blah blah blah. Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusawa, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind was directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial, Mukuro Ikusawa was to get you killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? Oh! Mastermind knew they couldn't use me directly. You mean because of the school regulation?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rule. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the regulation.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusawa. What's that? There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Mukuro.
What do you mean?
I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know. Footsteps of the god of death. Whoa. Okay. If I were Hero, I would told you stop bringing up that occult shit. But here, let's listen. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed, I saw the shadow go into the room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised. And the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind and his attempt to use the last trial to eliminate. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
Yes. You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in the room. Everything they did is a contradiction. What does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. Not?
Indeed.
Think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in history. Again, there definitely would have been a lot more to choose from to call the most tragic event in human history. But hey, it's a game. Moving on. The tragedy, whoever is responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're,
Indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through with it. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. We could have. Streamline and block. I do want to say that. Alright. I actually think that is a good cutoff point. I am a little bit tired and I would like to take a nap real quick. So I am going to end the episode there. And I hope you guys have a good day. I will be streaming on Friday. And I think that stream is going to be the absolute last episode of Danganronpa. That's the first game anyway. And then on Saturday I will be starting a new game altogether. That isn't Danganronpa. I'm going to be taking a break from that. I'm going to be playing a different game called Moonlighter on Xbox. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you all next time.